All right. I'm Luke from the Movie Boards, and I'm here with Sunny Youngsmith. They have show coming up in a show coming up in the Midsumma Festival. Terms and conditions. Midsumma Festival, for those of you who might not know, is a LGBTQ plus arts and culture festival, which is running in Melbourne from the 19th of April to the 5th of May. Okay, before we get to the really fun stuff talking about your show, where might have people seen your work before?
Good question. I graduated from VCA in 2019, so pretty much everything I've done from 2017 to 2019 was all at university. We
Uh-huh.
did some Shakespeare, we did some modern plays as well, and so that's what I've been mainly doing for the past 3 years. But before that, I had a crack at writing. Me and my friend wrote a show for the Comedy Festival in 2016, and I wrote this show for that season of Fringe Festival in 2016. So that's actually
Okay.
when it premiered in Melbourne. But
Cool.
apart from that, it's just been very low key, just seeing friends and family coming to the shows, but still doing auditions here and there, and just trying to keep writing and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, terms and conditions. What's it all about?
Yeah, so terms and conditions, it's the same premise as the show I wrote in 2016. However, I've edited it a bit and developed it, having been like gone to uni and also just having changed a lot as a person over those few years.
Uh-huh.
I've changed parts of it to make it a bit more relevant, I think, to now and who I am as a performer now. But the premise is it's Darcy, who is this young woman who is waiting for her neighbours to come over for her birthday party, but she anticipates their arrival, and there are three very interesting characters. We have Meaty Sue, who works at an abattoir and
Uh-huh.
is very quite, she's got a thick Australian accent and very kind of like a bit of a larrikin attitude, I'd say.
Uh-huh.
And then we've got Roberta Jones, who is an American Hollywood star, very LA, very fun to play that character. And then there's botanist Brienne, who is more of this free-spirited woman who talks about all of her love affairs with all these famous people. So it's these three people that she's invited over for dinner, and she's just waiting for their arrival. And in that anticipation, she's thinking about what they'll be talking about, and but it's very much open for audience to think about whether they're actually real, whether they're her actual neighbors, or maybe they're just like figments of her imagination. It's all very up in the air.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I like leaving the audience with their own kind of ending. I because I know that whenever I see shows, I really like seeing ones where I'm like, oh, I actually think this is how it happens, and then my friends are like, oh no, I thought this. And it's great to have that kind of openness with the show, not being told what to think.
So you love that speculation once the credits roll as to what happened.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be a bit frustrating, but if it's done well, it can be really refreshing, because then you can talk about it and it lives on with you and the people that you've seen it with.
Yeah, well, that and the whole, between season break and all that sort of stuff would be is the fun speculation too. Is this
Yeah.
the first show you've had at Midsummer?
Yeah, I've never done a Midsummer show before. I've always wanted to, but I've never, I guess after high school, I did that Fringe show and the Comedy Festival show and then straight into uni. So I didn't really have time to get in Midsummer, but I actually think it's my favorite festival in Melbourne.
Is it?
It's
Okay.
it's yeah, it's lots of fun, and the artists. It's nice seeing so many queer artists in one location and seeing all this work. It makes me really happy.
That's good. Um, I'd just like to say that of from your bio, the whole "We Are Lightning" thing, the whole concept of that really seemed brilliant. And even though it was like what, 3 years ago, seemed
Yeah.
awful now, for like last year with all the theaters and everything closing down. So that was, I'm just.
It was, yeah, that was, I'm very lucky to have worked with Joseph O'Farrell. They're an amazing, incredible Melbourne and global artist. They travel a lot as well, or they used to, not so much now with COVID, but so they're a friend of a friend, and I was so lucky to be brought on that project as an assistant stage manager and just kind of like a helping hand. It was my first year of uni. I didn't really have much experience in a professional environment, so it was really generous of that team to take me on, and it was amazing. I was there in all the pre-production, all the rehearsals and all the shows, and it was an amazing experience and so relevant now. Who'd have thought that 3 years ago we'd be talking about venues closing, but for completely different reasons. But it was a really great experience, and I really enjoyed doing more of the backstage side of theatre. It really opened up my eyes as to how incredible and how much fun it can be, and so much hard work. But yeah, it was great. I really, really appreciate Joff as an artist. They've helped me out with a lot of things and have involved me in a lot of projects. They're wonderful, and they've got such great opportunities for and audiences of all age. They do a lot of things with kids and also older audiences. It's great.
So even though this is okay, so trying to work it. Given your brief experience with shows, how has the pandemic sort of changed the staging of things for you?
In more of I think more of a like a emotional sense, it's made me more ready, and in a psychological way, I feel like I've not having done it for so long, I'm just like, oh, it's made me want it even more. Like after graduating uni, I think there was a bit of a burnout phase where everyone was just really tired and quite exhausted. But now it's like, oh, well, it's been a year and a bit. Now I'm just hungry to get back, and I'm just even more excited than I thought I was when I graduated uni. But so I'm grateful in that aspect to try and find a silver lining of the pandemic. Was such a devastating thing. Something that I am grateful of the time is that it's made me realize how much I do love performing and how much I want to get back to it, and how difficult it is not having those outlets of being creative in that way, which was really strange over the pandemic. But seeing what other people were doing, like there was a few shows that were made throughout lockdown, which was really inspiring. But I honestly just didn't know how people had the motivation. I feel like lockdown, for me at least, really was such a buzzkill. Like I just didn't find any motivation or any creativity.
So you just wanted to hide under the blankets and watch Netflix?
Yeah, hide under the blankets, try to be proactive, be like, oh, I'll write something, but never really did. I think it's the hope of being like, oh yeah, I'll write something in the pandemic. Oh yeah, I'll pick up a new skill, but nothing really ever happened.
Yeah, well, I know the feeling. The
Yeah,
powerful god of procrastination.
Yeah.
Habit of kicking in.
Yeah.
But you know,
Absolutely.
box sets were my friend.
Absolutely.
First few months.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other shows that we should be aware of after
No.
No,
Nothing yet. Like I've got things in my brain that I want to write and I want to put on for either this year or next year.
Okay, but there's nothing you can tell us about yet?
Nothing I can tell you about yet, which is, I wish there was.
Hey, I wouldn't be doing
Stay
my job
tuned.
if
There will be. Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, oh no, in your blurb it talked about indulging in the mundane and absurd.
Yes.
Is there anything that mundane absurd that sort of fascinate you?
Absolutely. My favorite thing as like a teenager would be sitting on public transport and just eavesdropping.
So
And just the conversations you'd hear, some of them of like people having a conversation next to you, or some people on the phone talking to someone else, you don't know who they're talking to. But just some of the conversations were just so human and so I don't know, there's a lot of comedies that I like, such as like Gavin and Stacey, and even like bigger sitcoms like Seinfeld, I guess. I just love how human they are and how they turn such ordinary things into just beautiful moments of humor. And I really like that in comedy shows. And so I think with my writing, I've always tried to take bits that I hear or see in life and try and put them into something that can make sense, because it's, yeah, I just love going off what I've heard from people, and it seems more authentic to then write from that than just to try and come up with something out of the blue. Yeah.
you need that outside weird.
Yeah, a little inspiration, a little spark, and then my mind goes elsewhere and it's like, well, maybe they were talking to this person on the phone. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, no worries.
For those of you who want to see Sunny's show, there's going to be a link for tickets and more information in the description for the video. So, be sure to click on the link and show some love. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. And I'll just leave you with this. It's an online show, so you can watch it in your lounge room, in bed, on your back garden, wherever you like. It's very easy.
Cool.
I know going out at the moment isn't always the most easiest thing to.
I know,
to
but
try
you
and
definitely
convince yourself
need
to
something
do.
to make it just that little bit easier.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you very much for your time.
No worries.